Alexander Volkanovski's biggest nightmare is here in the form of Ilia Topuria. Although Volkanovski has been pretty dominant through his featherweight reign, I'm not going to lie, as a Volkanovski fan, I am a little bit worried about this one. Volkanovski is also coming off of a knockout loss to Islam Makhachev. I'm not going to lie, I was impressed with the skills of Volkanovski that he displayed in both matchups with Makhachev. However, I did think the outcome was inevitable. Volkanovski was tremendously outsized in that fight, not to mention it was his first fight at 155. He did do really well in the contests, but however, him getting knocked out in the end is not a good look for him. And also, in my opinion, I also think that he is returning a little bit too soon. Volkanovski's skills has never been the issue with him. Just like my Conor McGregor video, Volkanovski is not going to be washed after that loss to Islam. The only thing is the intangibles, meaning it's not necessarily his skill set, it may just be his ability to take a punch. Alexander Volkanovski does not have any holes in his game, but the one chink in his armor, in my opinion, is his questionable chin. We have seen Alexander Volkanovski get dropped in the past. We've seen him dropped by the likes of Chad Mendes and also by Max Holloway. Max Holloway, not being known as a power puncher, by the way, was able to drop Alexander Volkanovski on multiple occasions. And that's a little worrisome considering who you know his opponent's going to be, if you're a Volkanovski fan at least. Alexander Volkanovski is the most skilled featherweight on the planet, and he's also the most skilled featherweight of all time, depending on who you ask. In my opinion, that title will always be to Jose Aldo Jr., but I understand for the people who think that Volkanovski is the greatest of all time. However, that's not the debate today. The debate is, can he beat Ilia Topuria? Although I think Ilia Topuria is a bad matchup for him, I do think that Volkanovski's skills should keep him safe in this fight. However, that's the thing, is can he stay safe? Another weird weakness of Alexander Volkanovski is the fact that he also struggles against opponents with a similar stature to him. If you ever notice in Alexander Volkanovski's fights, he tends to do well when the opponent has a height advantage on him. It's really weird. He tends to dominate the taller opponent. He's like a giant slayer. However, when the opponent is short and can match him for speed and he gets touched is when he has the most trouble. It's weird. When you look at the Chad Mendes fight, Chad Mendes was able to crack him multiple times. Yes, Volkanovski was able to eventually finish Chad Mendes due to grit and heart alone, but when you look at it, Chad Mendes isn't known to have the biggest heart when it comes to fighting. He's known to quit in his fights. Ilia Topuria has the heart of a lion, and he is not going to be bending over for anybody. Pause, no pun intended. Ilia Topuria has his reputation of a brawler, and in my opinion, he's a lot more technical than that. However, he does get in trouble when he just throws everything but the kitchen sink early, and he gasses himself out in the later rounds. Ilia Topuria doesn't have that much of experience with high-level competition. A lot of the opponents that he's fought has just been overwhelmed with his extreme physicality and his pressure and the power in his hands. However, Volkanovski is going to be looking to hit and not get hit in this fight. I'm going to say this right here, right now. Ilia Topuria is built for war, and Alexander Volkanovski, in my opinion, is not. That does not mean that Alexander Volkanovski has never been in a war and he can't succeed in a war. I'm saying that based off of history, Alexander Volkanovski tends to go down when he gets hit. And he's not going to want to be built for war for this fight, or at least test that out. As far as game plans go, I do think that Alexander Volkanovski would be smart to not try and get into a war with Ilia Topuria, considering the power that Ilia Topuria possesses. As far as the grappling goes, I actually don't think that it'd be a great idea for Ilia Topuria to try and take Volkanovski down repeatedly. I think that with his gas tank issues in the later rounds, mainly not being the fact that he doesn't have good cardio, it's the fact that he throws everything into every single one of his shots. I think that that will cost him if he also tries to mix in a grappling approach in a 5-round championship fight with a guy with almost double the amount of experience that he has. Alexander Volkanovski is going to really be in a fight this time, and I'm excited for it. The thing is that I want Alexander Volkanovski to make me eat my words. I hope he is built for war, because if he is, this is going to be a really entertaining fight. However, I don't think he is, and he doesn't need to be. I think that he has more than enough tools to simply outstrike Ilia Topuria for 5 rounds. And I don't think that he needs to put himself in that necessary kind of danger. I really do wonder what his training camp's going to be like. I wonder, is he going to be working on more so elusive type of work? It's at least striking wise. I wonder, is he going to be training a lot with Israel Adesanya, trying to mimic what he does? Because Volkanovski in every single one of his fights has the reach advantage against Ilia Topuria. And he can really keep Ilia Topuria at the end of those jabs and at the end of those low kicks. I think the low kicks will be a big weapon for him. In my opinion, I think Volkanovski has a clear way to victory if he simply does not get hit by Ilia Topuria, and I repeat that. I think if Ilia Topuria gets one clean shot, I think he can finish Alexander Volkanovski. But that's the name of the game, and that's why we watch. I want to know what you guys think. It's been your boy Trippy, and I'm out, man.